project. And August 20th, we will start one session, one chapter. So flyer will come this week. Please pass on to maximum people, as Bhagwan has already said in the 18th chapter that who is dearest to him. Maybe I may be going to temples and Tirthayatras and doing puja, but in the last chapter what he has said that if you are not spreading my name, my knowledge, my glories to others, then it is still very self-centric. I must spread. So spread it to maximum people where people can get one glimpse of Bhagavad Gita in one session. And then we will start the story part. Mahabharata story where intrinsic relationship. When we will hear Mahabharata, we will see what kind of characters were there and what were their relationships and how this Bhagavad Gita is part of that. Let us prepare ourselves by sitting straight, head, neck, backbone straight. What we are doing here and preparing, you will see now in today's session, God is asking the same thing to Arjun in the 18th chapter. Let us withdraw our mind from all that has happened in the past. The content of the experience is not very important. Letting go the experience itself is a sadhana. Because experience means there is duality. Keeping only the learnings with me which creates happiness. An important crystalline Mahavakyas we must remember. Let us withdraw our mind from future anxieties, worries. What next is a destructive question. That means I am not available in the present moment. Let us practice to keep our mind in the present moment by taking support of the breath. Let us take one deep, slow, conscious breath. When we practice conscious breathing, then we can also practice conscious living. Otherwise, most of us are compulsive living. Living by habit, living by program, not having a choice. An alert, quiet, earnest mind is the most potent mind for sadhana. Let us chant loudly so that we can invoke grace of the Lord and the Guru Parampara. As Guruji says, 2G, God and Guru. Om. Om. Om.
Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahe tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gajananam bhutaganati sevitam Avittajambu palasara bhakshitam उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धु च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव सदाशिवसमारम्भं शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम्
Hari Om. Thank you, Lata Rachekar-ji. Hari Om to all. So we are reflecting on the concluding chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and we are doing chapter-wise summary slightly in detail. Next Sunday, we will conclude this project, and the next project is one session, one chapter. So start informing people, and the flyer will come this week so that we can see the entire Bhagavad Gita in one session. And last project would be, not last, but later on, one session, entire Gita. And then we are going to start the Mahabharata story. So the name of the chapter is Moksha Sanyasa Yoga, liberation through renunciation. Liberation from what? Liberation from fear, anxiety, delusion, sorrow, and anger. And what is renunciation? That is what is the chapter discusses in detail, that you practice renunciation in day-to-day life. Every day get up in the morning and ask, what can I renounce today? What can I let go today, which is coming in my way of achieving the purpose of human life, goal of human life. Before I die, I must let go a lot of things. Otherwise, they will create a lot of problems, challenges, sorrow. Important points. Practice tyaga before I practice sannyasa. That was a question asked. What is tyaga? Tyaga is renouncing. Now, what is the definition of tyaga? Very important one to by heart and remember that do your duty with inner joy and outer cheerfulness. Point number one. Renouncing three things like dislikes, doership, and insistence, resistance on the result. This is how it must happen. So we must renounce one word from our dictionary, mental dictionary today. You can write down, those who are writing. Should word we must renounce. SHOULD. Should. Because whenever we say should, that means it must happen like this, but I am not responsible for it. World should happen like this. Bhagwan should do like this. Then in my life, this should happen. That means should means what? So that is tyaga, and don't take sannyasa without practicing these three things. Sannyasa is renouncing kamya karma, and the highest sannyas is renouncing doership. But then the important point which is enumerated in Bhagavad Gita, many times Bhagwan comes back to this, is that how to understand what is my duty. So this is the most interesting, important part. I can understand God, Brahman, Maya, everything, liberation, but what I should do in this moment, what is my duty as a wife, husband, parent, grandparent, children, as an Indian citizen, as a seeker, as a sadhak, that is not very easy to understand. For that, Bhagavan gave 7 pointers, 7 dashboards. What were those? First is tyaga, renunciation. Then what kind of knowledge I have. Then action. Then doer, what kind of doership I have. Then what is my perseverance? What is my intelligence? And what is my happiness? From where I get happiness? That also shows whether my happiness is tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic. If I am still getting happiness from experience of the world, that means I still believe that there is happiness in the world. It may be rajasic. If I am not getting happiness from contemplation, from japa, from inner sadhana, then it is still not sattvic. So Bhagavan has given pointers as to practice. And also Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, 4 pointers given. It is not decided by birth, it is decided by our temperament. And then one final concluding message is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. What is the final message of the Bhagavan? He told that renounce everything and hold on to one thing. Renounce entire your experiences and hold on to God or hold on to self. There are 2 pointers for us to hold on. If you are a Jnana Margi, then hold on to self, consciousness, awareness. Or hold on to God and renounce everything. Sarva Dharman Parityaj. And then you will attain the highest, what is the human possibility. Then what to do? Then 2 pointers we saw that even after listening for 25, 30 years of Bhagavad Gita and etc., if the difference I am not finding in myself, I am not recognizing some inner transformation, even people who are near to me also in family, friends, they are also not recognizing any transformation, then there could be reasons, as Gurudev mentioned in the last session, that it is not the defect of the scripture or the teacher, it is I have to develop certain qualities. So we will summarize that and go ahead where in the entire Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has been asking questions. Some say there are 47 questions, some say there are 35 questions, Lord Krishna has not asked any question. So here it is a unique session we are going to have where Bhagwan, who is Sarvajna, he is asking one question to Arjun. And in that one question, there are three questions. So it should be interesting that entire Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has asked only one question to Arjun. And that question is not to Arjun, that question is to us. So we will see what is that question and what is Arjun's answer. And our goal must be that I must be like Arjun, who now can answer that Bhagwan's question as Arjun has answered. Then the completion would happen. So what are the pointers we saw? Who gets maximum benefit from Gita study and attains the highest? So suppose I am not getting any benefit from Gita study or chanting, I am there for, entire Bhagavad Gita I have heard, Upanishads I have heard, so many things I have heard. But the difference is not happening. Why? Because Bhagavan has given that in 68 to 71. And secondly, also one of my favorite one, Bhagavan says that what Lord considers as his puja, jnana yadnena tenaham ishta. I may be doing a lot of puja and tirtha yatra, but what Lord considers, and that's the reason our Gurudev is one unique saint who got Bhagavad Gita from the puja room to the living room, because he told this is to be lived, this is to be experienced. It should not be kept in the puja room and done only Bhagavad Gita puja, but I am not following any principle of it. So one who has self-control, this is a summary which we have seen in the last session. One who has self-control, that person will get maximum benefit of this knowledge. Self-control means, right? Self-control means my mind and senses are not going in the world too much and they are able to focus on this knowledge. Jnana yadnena tenaham ishta. So, how do we listen to this knowledge also? Bhagavan is going to ask. How are we listening right now? Am I in 10 times checking my WhatsApp and then 10 times checking there on YouTube? Then in between going and checking some news, what is happening? And in between I am listening. In COVID times, whenever I used to take this session, I had prepared one dialogue because all the sessions were online. एक हाथ में चाय, एक हाथ में फरसान, बीच में गूंज रहा है ब्रह्म ज्ञान. So, when we do this puja, then we take bath and, prepare ourselves and then we do the puja of the Lord and then we don't want any disturbance. So, Bhagavan says that, are you doing this puja intellectually when you listen to my knowledge? Or, 10 times I'm distracted here and there, and then I'm between, some Brahma Gyan is going on. I attended Bhagavad Gita. So, and then second parameter, as we are growing in life by experiences in family, job, business, and this spiritual knowledge, this is a Grihastha I must ask whether my love quotient is increased. And immediately when love for God comes, it is only seen in only one. Whether that love for God is expressed in serving people around me. Otherwise, still I am only thinking of me, my family, job, and business. Jagat Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhru Deva Pujanam. Ramana Maharshi says. Now, Ramana Maharshi was not a prescriber of puja and everything. He said self-inquiry, who am I? But what he is written in Upadeshar is that love for God is not expressed in only love for God. It immediately has to transfer in service to others. So I must ask myself that what is the service I am doing without expecting anything? It is only an expression of love as mother does for a small newborn baby. Recently we had gone last week out. There was one couple, 5-month-old child, and I was just checking, does the child sleep at night? Kidhar sota hai? Every 1.5 hours the mother has to get up and feed or toilet. But then there is no complaint. The father never complains कि अरे दो घंटे में उठना पड़ता है. There is no need. Sometimes they might mention, but there is no tone of complaint. There is a deeper joy. Otherwise, if they start complaining, people will ask, why did you bring him? First of all, who told you? Like that Amitabh Bachchan once asked his father, it seems, that why did you actually give me birth? And there is a beautiful answer what his father gave next day. He didn't answer. That video, if I get, I will post it. Fourth one, that one who doesn't find fault. So we must drop from today finding fault in the world, especially one habit, finding fault in God, scriptures, and especially finding faults in people. The only one entity we must find fault is ourselves. And the next one is listens with faith for inner transformation. We are not here to learn Gita, do chanting and practice Sanskrit, etc. But we are here for inner transformation. So, one question I must ask again today on Sunday, that can I make a list of what all inner transformations have happened in me? What I have overcome? Who is the dearest to Lord? That is the second question answered here. Bhagavan says there are a lot of people who are dear to me. But the best yajna is the jnana yajna, because Bhagavan has listed many yajnas in Bhagavad Gita. Which is the best yajna? Bhagavan says, one who shares and spreads this highest secret knowledge. And that's the reason Gurudev is one entity, one vibhuti of Bhagavan only, who has spread this Gita knowledge to maximum. World over, more than 450 yajnas. That coined term itself is Gurudev's Jnana Yajna. So Krishna gave knowledge to one Arjun and Sanjay ji was listening. There was no difference in Dhritarashtra. Lord, but Gurudev gave this knowledge to lakhs of people. So he did job of 100 Krishnas. Today we are able to listen like this. I am able to, say because of Gurudev's grace that he brought this Bhagavad Gita in English. And then, especially when I entered in Chinmay Mission, I could say, oh, I can understand and I can relate, I can apply. Otherwise, some people make it too complex, then it is very difficult to implement in day-to-day life. And then Lord cross-checks again on Arjun's clarity and understanding. So very, very important verse. Only one question Lord has asked. And we must by heart this because Lord is asking us. So we must ask this question to us. That this is a question asked to Arjun, who was listening so deeply, so earnestly. And we must ask this question to ourselves whether this is clear. So what is the question? This is a rare thing. So three questions are asked by Arjun. Why? Because Arjun had mentioned that you are my Guru. I surrender to you. So what is Guru's job? Very important one. Without this job being done, Guru doesn't get moksha. Again he has to come and then teach. Because the job is not complete for the Guru's point of view. Though he is a liberated one, he realized one. What is Guru's job? Guru's job is to remove Shishya's ignorance. Till that time, Guru cannot get liberated. Bhagavan is then showing. So what are the three questions asked? People used to ask Gurudev, Gurudev, are you liberated? He says, I am waiting for you at the door. Please come. I don't want to go alone. So he came from Himalayas and spread this knowledge here. O Partha. And two names are taken. O Partha, O Dhananjaya. In one verse itself, when two names are taken, that is love overflowing from the Lord. First question. Kaschit etat shrutam tvaya. Has this been heard, understood by you clearly? No, who is asking? Lord is asking Arjun. So we must ask, have I understood this knowledge clearly? What is the meaning of clearly? There is, and Bhagavan is not asking whether did you hear it, did you listen to it. Hearing and listening, what is the difference? Hearing is done by the ears, listening is done by the mind. And the vessel of the mind has to be pure. Otherwise, the same mind is having so much world thought, so much of my past life, and with that in one between this knowledge is coming. So hearing plus understanding and doubtless conviction is the definition of listening. So Bhagavan is asking, have you understood? So we must ask ourselves, have I understood this knowledge? Have I only heard the Bhagavad Gita? Understanding means I must I must not have any doubt. I must be convinced about what Lord has said. This is the main purpose of teaching, Bhagavan says. If not understood, I will teach you again. This is Guru's dharma. If any time the student says that I have not understood, teacher will be more happy to explain again. Fortunately, in this session, there is no question. There are no questions only. So there are two possibilities. Either I have understood completely or not understood at all. Because question comes to people who think on it. Must not have any questions and doubt and realize here itself, because second, Bhagavan is asking ekagrena chetasa. Have you heard, listen to this knowledge with single pointedness of the mind? Or as we mentioned, I'm doing 100 things behind it, because that's the reason in person class is better, because there we can see what both the teacher and the student are doing. Sometimes though I see teacher also in between keeps on looking at the mobile phone. Yesterday itself I saw, day before yesterday. The discourse is going on, in between there was a gap, the teacher was seeing the mobile phone, WhatsApp messages and replying. So did you listen without any distraction? Swami Advayananji gives one definition of meditation, SMN minus D. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam minus distraction. So whether I am hearing, listening this with my full body, mind, intellect, memory, this we have taken in detail. In Ramayana also it comes. Sunahu tata, mana buddhi chitta. With your three things I must be able to listen. When there is love and devotion, it happens automatically. When love is there, then I can listen to anything from anybody. When love is not there, then faults are seen, Gurudev says. Shravan means means of getting knowledge, and Shravana matrena jnanena. The realization can happen for a Uttam Adhikari just by listening. So second point, second question what Lord has asked. If we listen with ekagrata here and now, J.K. Krishnamurti says when Bhagavan is saying that you are Satchidananda Swarup, the student shuts his eyes and realizes because he believes. That's the reason कबीर दास जी सेज मुको कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे, ना मंदिर में ना मस्जिद में ना पूजा में ना व्रत में, मैं तो ना एकांतवास में ना योग में संन्यास में, मैं तो विश्वास में, मैं तो तेरे पास में. खोज हूं, सपोज आई रियली सर्च, एक पल की दूरी है, नॉट इवन 1 second it will take. And that is what happens to listening. That is what God is asking. That have you listened to this entire knowledge with ekagrata? And third one, most important one, because Arjun had mentioned all these things in the first chapter. Kachit adhyana sammoha pranashtate. Has your ignorance gone? And Bhagavan, as Arjun had mentioned, that my body is trembling, my mind is confused, and he had dropped the equipments and shoka samvigna manasa. That is the last word of the first chapter. Ignorance of my own self, delusion about my own duty, what is to be done in this situation, which creates sorrow. So what is the reason of sorrow? Whenever sadness, depression comes, the reason is that I have forgotten, very important word to remember. What is the word to remember? Forgotten. Because now that is the answer what Arjun is giving. That first of all, because I am ignorant about my own self, there is a confusion in the duty of what is to be done. So whenever suppose I am not able to figure out what is to be done in this situation, I must go back to the main knowledge of the second chapter, where Bhagavan starts that you are not this body, mind, intellect, you are that Atma which cannot be destroyed. And whenever I am feeling agitated, nervous, depressed, sad, sorrow, the reason is ignorance leading to delusion. So, what is Arjun's confession and commitment? This answer we must by heart and keep and ask myself whether I can reply one day sitting before the Lord this way. Now, some people ask one question: did Arjun realize? Guruji says there is a doubt when you read this. No, no, but he didn't go to heaven because Duryodhan and company went to heaven. Pandavas went to Naraka. So in that Mahabharat story, when we come, we will see all those pointers. But here is a clear proof stamped, and whom is talking, whom is telling this? This answer he is telling to Lord himself, who is Sarvadnya, Sarvatra, Sarvashaktiman, knows everything. So there is no point that we can doubt about Arjun's realization here. Nashto moha, he says. Who can say Nashto moha? My delusion gone about myself. Smrutir labdha. And most interesting is Tva prasadanmaya achyuta. So this all happened with your grace. And what all things he has mentioned? 5-pointer confession and commitment Lord has done. Arjun has given. So I must make a resolution that one day I must be able to sit and say this verse, not only chant and tell the Lord, Bhagwan, now my moha gone. I have got my memory back. No, but I have got a very good memory. I can remember who said what. 35 years you said this, so I am not talking to you for entire life because you said this to me 35, 40 years back. 25 years back, this happened, that happened. No, not that Smrutir Labdha. We will see. Oh, Achyuta. Achyuta means never fallen. So what Arjun is telling, very interesting one. Tva prasada, this is very interesting one. Through your grace, not by my effort, final vault I have been able to take. He is not taking the credit. This is one of my favorite verse because every session what I take, I have been taking study classes for last 25, 27 years. Every session I remember this because these sessions are happening with grace only. Actually, I just wonder after every session, I don't know how it is happening. I don't know much Sanskrit. I don't know much Sanskrit grammar. I don't know much chanting. Chanting is so poor. And in one of the corporate training, because I've been taking corporate training for 25 years, there was one trainer who had come. She was a professor of English, written English books. After 2.5 days session, she told me, Prasad, your English is disgusting. And I like that word because I remember that word. But then she told, your English is disgusting, but it is so effective. I told, thank you very much. But I also wonder many times because when I take this class, I know there are people sitting here. Entire Gita they know by heart. Sanskrit scholars are there, and how this session is happening where you are interested because there are so many available in the market to listen, and still people come. So is it not grace? And that's the reason I say thank you after every session because I also don't know with so many challenges how these sessions have been happening and people are liking, and I am also enjoying. Only one prayer I do before this session that Bhagwan, however session happens, it's okay, but ensure that all points are covered what were in your mind, Lord's mind, what were in Ved Vyasji's mind, and what were there in Adi Shankaracharya's mind and Gurudev's mind. All points should be covered. Don't leave any other point which is not there, which is not coming. So that is only my prayer, but these sessions are happening by grace only. So Tva Prasadat, four things he has mentioned. Nashto Moha, delusion is destroyed. No, that requires courage to say before the Lord, Bhagavan, my delusion gone. What is the delusion? Delusion is about ignorance that my real nature is pure consciousness bliss. Pure existence, consciousness, bliss, that is my real nature. And my ignorance is what? The delusion is what? That I am this body, mind, intellect. Then what is the delusion? What is my goal of life? I am clear now. What are the goals in life? School, college, job, business, security, money, relationship, fame, power. These are goals in life. I am clear about it. Paths to achieve. I am clear what is my path. I must ask, what is my temperament? That will give my path. Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, etc. And what is the highest secret? This is the delusion. So I must ask whether I am having clarity about what is my goal of life, purpose of life, what are the goals in life, not making goals in life as goal of life. What is the path I must take? Because path I know. If I want to go to Pune, if I take Nasik Road, how will it happen? This is very important because I can get carried away. Swami Vivekananda once got carried away. Who are we? Once he was traveling through a jungle and he met one monk and he was showing all the powers and he told, he is my guru. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa is not showing any miracles. And then when he was prostrating to that monk, this Ramakrishna used to see Ramakrishna only. And Ramakrishna ji saved him from all those siddhis and powers because some people get carried away that siddhis and powers hai to fir knowledge hai. So whenever he used to prostrate, he used to see Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And then he did all that will come. That is very ordinary. This is the main point, main delusion which must go in life. So what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita knowledge? If somebody asks that you have been listening for so many years, can chant twofold purpose. Destruction of ignorance, sorrow, confusion, fear goes. That is what Bhagwan's promise also in Sarva Dharman Parityaj. And realization of our true nature, that is eternal existence, consciousness, infinite bliss. This Atyantik Dukkha Nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti. This is the main purpose of this Gita knowledge. Second point, Smrutir Labdha, he told. Memory, knowledge has been gained. Now, what is a memory? My memory is very good. I can remember so many things in life, but what is this memory in life and memory which has come back? Important distinction to know. He's saying all avarana gone, all layers gone, which are created by the thought because thought creates duality, thought creates division. Ramana Maharshi says that thought is not very important. It's knowledge which is vritti driven is not the real knowledge. It also is part of Maya only. Regain the Atma Tattva. This memory is unique. Difference in memory of an object and a self. What is the difference? Object memory or situation memory is knowledge gained by pratyaksha experience, dependent on the thought. Oh, what is his name? What is his name? Where I had gone? So that thought comes, that is memory gained. We forget again experience and that object, situation, people, what we experience, what we remember, they are different than us. So that memory is not the memory what he is talking. Smrutir Labdha, not that memory. But memory of the self. Ramdas Swami says that after so many years, now I am meeting myself. Those who attended the meditation session, what we took in the COVID time, the name of that topic was appointment with self because we have forgotten and have not met our own self. And what is the example? There is a chain in my neck. There is a spectacle in my pocket. I am searching everywhere. And when somebody points out to me, now I have to listen carefully. Oh, that chain is there in your neck only. Then I realize, oh, chain is there. So now I have to listen. That experience I am already having because it is me only. What was lacking is knowledge. So that Aham Brahmasmi, Sat Chit Ananda, that experience I am having all the time. Bhagavad Gita only points out. So knowledge, so Jnaneya Mukti, not Anubhoyena Mukti. Because there are two kinds of gain. One gain is that what I do not have, I gain. And another gain in Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, etc. is gain is that you already gained it, but you have forgotten it. So what is lacking is knowledge, not experience, because experience I am already having, because it is the chain is already touching the skin. Not that there was lack of experience. What is important? There is lack of knowledge. And once I gain this knowledge, it cannot be lost because it is my Swarup only. And then third, Sthitaha Asmi, I am firm. Earlier I was shivering, shaking, emotionally disturbed. Sidanti mama gatarani. Bhagavan Arjun says in the first chapter. Emotionally, physically exhausted, emotionally drained, intellectually confused. This is the state of Arjun. Three words Gurudev gives: physical exhaustion, emotional drain, intellectual confusion. With physical exhaustion, he drops the Gandiva, I don't want to fight. With emotional drain, he says, how can I kill my own people? I don't want kingdom. All sin will be incurred. And intellectual confusion, now I want to go and meditate. I don't want Hastinapur. And now, final, he says, Kata Sandeha, freed from doubts. Now I am clear what I should do in this situation, what is, and then Karishe Vachanam Tava, I will do according to your word. My action is your command. This is real summit, surrender. Thy will is my will. One of the monk used to pray. He was a very unique monk. He used to pray to God, Bhagwan, don't give me anything what I want. So people asked him, and he used to pray that loudly, Bhagwan, don't give me anything what I want. And people went and asked him, why are you praying like this? We always go to Bhagwan and says, Bhagwan, give me whatever. And he said, no. But second sentence, I say in my mind, Bhagwan, you give me whatever you want to give me. So thy will is my will because you know exactly what I want, what is my benefit. And when you will give, it will be in abundance. Like that story that one boy went to a chocolate shop, small boy. He told, I want chocolate. How much chocolate do you want? Take it. He told, no, I will not take it. You give me. And that man gave it too because, and then he said, why didn't you take it when I told you? He told, no, your hands are bigger than my hands. So in those hands, there will be, 20 chocolates. In my hand, only 5 chocolates would have come. So he took his shirt and then took all the chocolates. He told, very intelligent seeker. So this is real surrender. I have no will of mine. I become the instrument of the Lord. Lord would have hugged him with tears in eyes, with joy in the heart, because a teacher's greatest joy. One person asked Nisargadatta Maharaj that, you two are living in that world, abundance, existence, consciousness. Don't you feel sometimes happy? He said only one point a Mahatma feels happy when another person joins him there as that state. Because only a one Mahatma can know another Mahatma has realized or no. That also question we must drop. So Lord would have hugged him with tears that whatever I wanted to give him, it has come. And now he is giving that answer. So one duty completed here of the Lord. So Lord would have taken a deep breath. One duty completed. Second duty is going to start now. Of what? Sarathi in the war that we will see in Mahabharat story. So Bhagavan said, okay, one duty completed. This knowledge is transferred and this knowledge has created the inner transformation. So I must also ask that all this knowledge must create inner transformation. And I must be able to write down. If I am still not able to figure out, then I must go back to sadhana chatushtaya. Whether my vivek, vairagya, shata sampatti is the clear thing. Shama, dama, titiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhan. And that can only happen when we are in the job, business and family. Because that field is given for that. And the war starts. But before that, let us see this transformation because this is what is expected of Bhagavad Gita knowledge. A confused, emotionally drained, physically weakened Arjun in the first chapter. 2, in the 18th chapter, a confident, clear, motivated, inspired, beaming with enthusiasm, ready to fight without attachment and anger, dedicating the result to the Lord and acting as an instrument. That is the transformation of Arjun in the 18th chapter. This is how the clear parameter is given that of our growth. Whether I am growing spiritually or not, how would I know? These are parameters to check. No change in Dhritarashtra after listening to this knowledge. Hari Om. How we are getting this knowledge? Because Sanjay was telling Dhritarashtra that this is what Lord is telling Arjun and Arjun is telling Lord. So after listening to this knowledge, no change in Dhritarashtra. So they say that he was ulta ghada. Ulta ghada means, see, when this knowledge is coming, if my pot is a ulta, then there is a problem. Second, if my pot is open but it is all muddy, colored with lot of desires and vasanas and this knowledge is coming, it will not make a difference. But this pot is clean, pure, concentrated and this knowledge is coming, it will make a difference. What is the proof that Dhritarashtra, no change? How can you say that? Some change would have happened. Some change would have happened. But one of the proof comes when the war gets over. We will see in the story part. And when all Pandavas come to Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra said, I want to hug Bhim. And Dhritarashtra had power of 100 elephants. And there also Lord saved Bhim. He told, no, no, don't go near, give him a statue of Bhim. And when he hugged the statue of Bhim, he crushed it. And he told, you killed my son Duryodhan. So that anger was still there. And then everybody was shocked that still, he had that anger towards Bhim that he had killed Duryodhan, his favorite son. So now Sanjay Uvacha. Now this dialogue between these two are over. Now what this story part, Bhagavad Gita starts with Dhritarashtra Uvacha, is concluded with Sanjay Uvacha. What was Dhritarashtra said? Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutso Mamaka Pandavashaiva Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. Like what is happening in this Kurukshetra, you tell me, and what is happening to my children and that Pandu's children. So there is a distinction seen clearly in the first opening only. So when we will see the Mahabharata story, we will see how this all intricacies are, woven in that. My children and Pandu's children. More keen to know about his son's victory. And Sanjay concludes here. Sanjay had gone to the war on the 10th day to report to Dhritarashtra because Sanjay had got a boon. Actually, Vedvyasji came and gave that boon to Dhritarashtra. He told, no, I don't want to see the war. Let me be blind only. He told, I will give you that vision. Dhritarashtra told, no, I do not want this vision. So he gave to Sanjay, and Sanjay's guru is who? Sanjay's guru is Vedvyasji and Sanjay's surname is Gavalgana. Many people don't know what is Sanjay only. And Guruji says that very few texts have described about Sanjay. Jnaneshwar Maharaj in Jnaneshwari has given couple of pages on who is Sanjay. Because today we are all listening because of Sanjay's listening and his reporting. He was an advisor to Dhritarashtra. He was a Sarthi. He went for negotiations and finally when Hastinapur war was won, he went with Dhritarashtra, Kunti and Gandhari and there in the forest the burning happened and then he came and reported here. Though in the enemy's camp, his devotion was very clear towards Lord Krishna. How do we know? Sanjay concludes, as I repeatedly recall and remember. Now this is for us. I have to repeatedly recall and remember. Nahi, abhi Bhagavad Gita ho gaya. Now I will go to Upanishad. Then I will go to somewhere Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge is gone. Astonishing and wonderful. Keshavar Junayo Punyam Harsha Muhur Muhu. He says again and again I am remembering that what? the wonderful dialogue, samvada, not vad vivad, not vitanda, not jalpa, samvada between these two people. It is astonishing, and I remember his Vishwaswarup, Lord Krishna Vishwaswarup. And I'm thrilled with joy and rejoice over again and again. So Guruji says, this is how Sanjay concluded this dialogue. So what we must do, we must rejoice. Ki what is the main message of Lord Krishna to Arjun? How this dialogue happened, and in that Lord showed his Swarup, and then Sanjay says that every time I remember this, my hair stands on the skin. That is how I'm feeling right now. And again I rejoice in that knowledge. Again and again, if I go back to any verse of Bhagavad Gita, it is rejoicing, and that dialogue is so very powerful. And then we will conclude in the next Sunday by Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti Dhruvar Nitir Matir Mama. What is the final gain of Bhagavad Gita knowledge? That we will conclude, and 20th August we will start one chapter, one session, one chapter. Thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.